Hi there, Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. And the other day, one of my friends said to me, I don't know what you're so worried about. It's not going to get that bad. Things are not going to get as bad as you think they are. I know you're telling me I should get some different friends. Maybe that's true. But I'd like you to look at these headlines and tell me, are things going to get as bad as I think they are and a lot of other people think they are? Or are we overreacting? So let's go over and look at a few headlines. Okay, we're over here at naturalnews.com. Water wars are about to erupt in America as dwindling supplies lead to legal clashes among Western states. And if you've been paying the least bit of attention, you know that Lake Powell, Lake Mead, the Colorado River are all the levels are really low, approximately 25%, he says here. And what they have to do is get all these Western states to agree on massive water cuts. You know that the ones who get the water first probably aren't going to agree for the people who are getting the water down below. But the point is that this water is used to irrigate the farmland. And without this water, we're not going to have the food production that we need in the future. So then if I go over here to newstarget.com, a horrifying drought is causing widespread crop failures throughout the United States and Europe. So we're really reaching a major crisis point thanks to soaring fertilizer prices, insane weather patterns, and the war in Ukraine. Global food supplies have been getting tighter and tighter. So we need a banner year for agricultural production in both the United States and Europe in 2022. But he says that's not going to happen. The drought is devastating crops all over the northern hemisphere. A lot of people are complaining about how high food prices are right now, but just wait. If some miracle does not happen, agricultural production is going to be way below expectations in both the US and Europe, and it's going to have serious implications in 2023. So in Europe, according to CNN, it is now being projected that farmers in Italy have lost 80% of their harvest because of the drought. In France, they're facing similar losses. And it says crop failures in France would really be a big deal because France is normally the fourth largest exporter of wheat. I didn't realize that they were the fourth largest exporter of wheat in the world. And it's among the top 5 exporters of maize. So a poor harvest due to the drought is going to put a lot of pressure on the grain supply. Germany is also experiencing dire drought. The Rhine River carries 80% of all goods transported by water in Germany, and it's now so low that it's impassable to barges. And the U.S. is dealing with a severe drought too. In Texas, it's really bad. And if we look here, we see that the conditions are so dry in Texas that many ranchers are forced to panic sell their herds. So you know what that means? That means that meat is going to be plentiful in the short term because all the herds are going to market right now. But in the long term, we're not going to have the meat that we're used to. And of course, we're going to have crickets and worms, so I guess that's what we're going to be first forced to eat. And if we look at the drought monitor here, here's the drought monitor, and you can see California is really bad. And we get so much of our agricultural produce from California that this drought is really going to cause problems. We see Texas is bad here, and Arizona and other places. And then even on the East Coast here, we've got extreme drought. So we have that. And we have this article on the economiccollapseblog.com. People are going to go absolutely insane when food prices double or triple from current levels. So if you think that people are getting pretty crazy now, just wait until the cost of food skyrockets to levels that hardly anyone has ever anticipated. See, and most people don't realize this, but to a large degree, we're still eating the food that was grown in 2021. And there's going to be far less food grown in 2022 than originally projected, and it's going to cause global strife in 2023. He goes through here and talks that not only food prices, but rent is going up $2,000 a month. And that's the median price, $2,000 a month for the first time ever. Now, you know the median price is the middle. You get half above it and half below it. It's not the average. So at 2,000, half the people are paying more and half the people would be paying less. How much less? Probably not a lot less. So if you can afford, to pay your 2,000 for rent, you're not going to be able to afford to buy food. If you buy food, you're not going to be able to afford your 2,000 for rent. And in 2020, the Social Security Administration said the median income is $34,612. And again, that means half the people are making more than that and half are making less than that. And the top 10% are still doing well, but the vast majority of the country is struggling. So that means 90% of the people are not doing well if only 10% are doing well. But the truth is, we haven't seen anything yet. What we see in the grocery store right now is largely a reflection of what happened last year. And he says, let me give you an example. Mainstream media has been talking about the potato shortage in Idaho. But what most people don't realize is this shortage was caused by a tremendous heat wave that happened last summer, not this past summer, the summer before. So there are fewer potatoes in your grocery store. So what's the problem? The weather, not this year's weather, mind you. It's the weather from over a year ago that's the blame. So did you catch that? A bad harvest in 2021 is now being felt in 2022. So looking ahead, what our farmers are experiencing right now will be keenly felt in 2023. And if you look at the price of fertilizer, we've discussed this before, it was $270 per ton at the beginning, and now it's $1,400 per ton. That's what, 6 times as much, almost 7 times as much for fertilizer. When those cost increases get passed along to us in 2023, a lot of people are going to be screaming bloody murder. But at least we will have food to eat. On the other side of the globe, there's simply not enough food for everyone. So he says that the global famines are inevitable. But I don't think it's sinking in for many people out there. And for the person who said to me it's not going to be that bad, I guess it's not sinking in either. The thing is, if there's a famine on the other side of the globe, and we have food here, and if you go in the grocery store and the grocery store has food, but you can't afford to pay for that food, you can't tell me there aren't going to be riots and looting and everything imaginable, because people are going to say there's food and they're going to rush for it and they're just going to steal it. So I would advise you, if you think that's coming, to stock up now while you can at the prices that are probably lower than they're ever going to be for the next 5-6 years maybe. So if we look over here real fast, allnewspipeline.com, largest price increase ever for cereal, fruits and veggies, and soups has already occurred, and prices are still rising. And then he has a chart here that's going to show how dire food inflation has become as it worsens daily. And just going down here to the chart, you can see that canola oil has gone up 159%, scallops 118%, all-purpose flour 61%, beef strip loin 56%, carrots 14%, cream, heavy cream 13%, and this is just a few of the increases in price. And this is really interesting. This is from Raymond MHOR, RaymondMoore.com. Food inflation hitting hard and gallon-sized cans of food showing up early. So what's happening now, he says, you go to the grocery store and instead of seeing the regular sized cans of food, you're seeing these big number 10 cans, which are about a gallon size. So if you do see these number 10 cans, usually it means you get things that are a little bit cheaper when you can buy the big can like this. But he's asking, why are these big number 10 cans showing up? Are they from the restaurant supply house, which means that the restaurants are closing and they just don't have the business, so they're sending the food to the grocery store? Or what? Why are they showing up? And I'd kind of like to know if you see them showing up where you live or not. So we've got the number 10 cans showing up. We have, again, from InfoWars, potato shortage emerges in Idaho as prices surge at supermarket. And I just wanted to show you two other things. This is from BlueStateBluesNews.com. Beverly Hills is turning after latest LA tragedy shows just how out of control crime has become. And they're talking about how the crime is so bad there that to defund the police, they don't want to do that anymore. And they're trying to take over and get rid of some of this crime. But if the crime is coming now, think what it's going to be when there is no more food. And just this one other thing. This is from UAFreport.com. Unreal. Teachers' union contract stipulates white teachers to be laid off first. So this is a first. White teachers are going to be laid off before any other ones. Not that that really has anything to do with the food or with the crime, but it's just how our society is going now. So I would like you to just sit back and think. Is it really going to be this bad or isn't it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know how your stores are. I do know my stores are fairly well stocked. I can get most anything I want at the grocery store. Prices have been going up, but they're not out of control yet. Will they be out of control soon? I think so. Will there be shortages? I think so. So what you should be doing is stocking up now while you can, while the price is a bit low, not as low as we would like, but lower than it's going to be for years to come. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and comment.